They've taken this world from us, cast us into an uncertain future. Earth is no longer ours. It is ruined.
It's time to stand up tall.
Once we were the peak of evolution, bending the laws of nature to our whim. But our legacy has been taken from us.
The rise and the fall.
This is the age of a new breed.
Every empire.
The age of Homo Degenesis.
There's no other. There's no other. There's no other. There's no other. No.
Remember, Fallberg, there will be days of war. But there will come a day when we have to sacrifice everything.
Oh, now you're live.
Hello there. Welcome to episode 3 of Degenesis. We got the A-team here tonight, the usual suspects. Our boy Ghost, Sim, and Aki. Unfortunately, we're missing a player, but that's fine. We'll just keep on trucking on. Does anyone want to do a quick recap? Get everyone up to speed on what was last said and done?
Go ahead, Axter.
That's right, I was going to investigate my friends. And we had just gotten to know, I think it was Domingo and Passe, nephews of Altair and Ennio. I think we were gonna talk to them the next day. Same time tomorrow, yeah.
That's right. Anyone want to add anything else?
Do a quick recap of everybody's activities. So, Gabriel and Sketch had went to investigate a water tower, see what the hubbub was about, with why it was closed, if there was any reason for it, check out security. Myself and Callen had went to the Embryo Chapel, on my end, inquiring with my colleagues in the church of faith to see if there was any word they had heard about the death of of Altair. We also got some pretty sick massages when we were there as well. Afterwards, he and I split up. I returned to... I believe I went to the Bleeding Ram just to continue to follow up, trying to collect more information about what had happened, while Callen stole off and prowled the dark corners of the city. Eventually, we all did meet at the Ram, and came into contact with I believe, nephews of Ennio's, Domingo and Pache, as Aki had just said. And now, I believe we were going to... I know I had an interest in going to the Cloister at night. I know it was forbidden for people to go there and investigate it. Callen was going to handle some of his own business, and I'm not sure what Gabriel's plans were.
Gabriel had last mentioned interest at checking out the water towers again, though his reasoning for doing so was unclear. He had left you guys to your own devices as he went off on his mission.
The water tower, I think that was Sketch.
Wait, yeah, I was gonna say you mean Sketch.
Oh,
eh?
sorry. My bad.
I think Gabriel was just open-ended, going back to rest, and And at some point, we were supposed to go meet. Did they have something to do with Lombardi?
Yeah, I think that was the thing the next day. Yeah.
Yeah, at the house.
Mhm.
Great. So that's the catch up. Let's kick this off as the two of you are chilling, relaxing, getting some rest, preparing for tonight's adventure. Callen makes his way off throughout the city to meet up with his contact. Or at least the case area out. It's still a bit early. Maybe he's not there at this time.
Yeah, see how the local flock is doing.
So you're easily able to navigate to the place he marked on your map. Seems to be a sort of... It's near activity. You can see people off in the distance, but it's nice and secluded. Only a few people seem to be hanging around here, keeping to themselves, shifty eyes, looking about.
Makes sense. Yeah, he's going to look for his particular friend.
Alright, you look around the area a bit. If you're just looking for him, you're unable to find him at this time. It wasn't too long ago that you left him.
Hmm. Yeah, I believe. Mhm. Go
Is
ahead.
that-
Well, I was just gonna say, yeah, if he's not around yet, he's going, Callen is going to take a look around, see if he finds any telltale markings or directions for lock members.
Yeah, can you give me a insight perception, I believe? If you're looking for marking.
Remember how to use this sheet.
Or instinct perception, sorry, not insight.
Ah, there
Ooh,
Ooh.
two triggers.
Fuck no.
Nice.
So yeah, you start searching around a bit, getting a look. There's a couple things that catch your eyes. Something that you're very familiar with, markings that are passed down by Apocalyptics to sort of indicate like a safe space for your people, you know?
Mhm.
Like you're welcome here. But strangely enough, one of them, right, that you see has other markings on it. Someone like tried scratching it out maybe with a rock or try to cover it up. And there seems to be a different marking that you're not too familiar with above it. Very small, very minor. You'd only really notice if you were really looking for it.
Hmm. You said I don't really quite recognize that as a apocalyptic marking of any kind.
Now, it doesn't appear to be from your kin, but there are scratches along your marking, you know? Like someone they'd want people to see.
Yeah, does it resemble... You try and think of anything it might resemble regarding any other cults. But if you can...
I think that would be... Would that be a Legends roll, probably?
Probably,
I'll try
yeah.
history and
Sounds good to me.
cultures.
Any chance I get any kind of bonuses from secrets? Can't remember exactly how to use the secret stuff.
So
That's
your
how we-
secrets are like cult secrets from your cult, right?
I think. Kind of general stuff, relatively speaking. I'm not sure. Yeah, so legends then?
Yeah. I mean, the shape is sort of familiar. It probably means something. You can't decipher its meaning. You're not exactly sure who would be responsible for it. But you can tell that it was put there with the intent to communicate something, maybe a warning.
Yeah, he'll kind of take note of that, and imagine he has some stuff for jot down notes, stuff similar, and he'll kind of sketch it down so they can, check with others later to see if they know what it is. And he's going to kind of look around a bit more, see what kind of people are hanging out, see if there's any other similar markings in the area.
Right. You look around a bit. We'll use your perception roll from earlier. Say, just like
Okay.
your look over, you got a good look at people. So as you go about your little inspection of the area, you can't find any other markings, but as you try to get like a good look at the people around you, you notice that they refuse to make eye contact with you or maybe shift away from you. It seems they're a bit suspicious of you. They're not familiar, perhaps.
Interesting.
For reference, this is what that little mark looks like. Sort of like an A with the legs coming out in a circle. Probably should have had a handout or something. Anyways.
You're fine. Okay. Yeah, so he'll kind of, he'll sort of skirt the area, and he's gonna wait for his contact, but he's gonna basically kind of keep relatively out of sight, out of mind, just kind of blend in with the area as much as possible, keeping to the edges, watching for his friend to enter, essentially, kind of come about this area.
Just gonna lay low, keep an eye out for your butt.
Yeah. Yeah, he's basically like, because a lot of these people seem cautious of him. He's going to be very much so skirting this area, like if there's any kind of points where there's a bit more traffic, but he can see into this enough to get a glimpse of them as they go about their business without him directly nearby.
Gotcha. How long do you think you would be doing this? How long do you think you're willing to wait?
How late was it?
By the time you got to the area, we'll say, I believe it was like 3:40 when you left, so it's maybe around 4:30-ish. Yeah.
Yeah,
Still
give it
early enough, but
yeah,
I don't
definitely.
believe you made plans like when to meet up with the contact, just where to meet.
Yeah, and I don't think we had anything planned on what particularly we were going to do just after this yet, because we have to wait till the next day for the others anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll give it a good, like, probably maybe 4 hours or so if need be.
Gotcha.
Trying to really learn the area as much as he can while he's at it.
And the two of you who are currently at the almshouse, are you going to do anything in this 4-hour interment? Any preparations specific that you want to make?
On my end here, Anders is making preparations to try to go to the Cloister, as well as he can understand it. As far as from what he's gathered, speaking with people, he would ask around, of course, if he during that time period, to get a sense of where the Cloister was, and just get a rough idea of the area surrounding it. His interest is to go there during the night to try to prowl around.
You're easily able to gather information about the location of the Cloister. It sort of towers over the city of Lucitor. It's on a ridge by the Boreal, sort of like looming ominously to some. It towers alone. There don't appear to be any other buildings there. It's just easy to... That's something you would be able to figure out just by entering the city, yeah? Off in the distance you can see it.
Yeah, plans essentially is to... I would probably try to find some dark clothing, I guess. I'd probably go to the market square at some point and just try to find some rather dark clothing if possible. Just to kind of be in line with going through the night. 'Cause I want to be able to get into. I want to be able to sneak to the cloister and hopefully see. One, to follow up on what that Sirocco the Sinner was saying, to see if there was burn in the cloister. 'Cause that's a very serious crime against the faith. If so, two. Just to, it seems like that place. It seems that the cloister's tied to everything somehow. So that would be what Angus is doing. He's not really paying much mind to anything else.
If you make a trip to the market, I believe this was mentioned upon your entering that only essential transactions are allowed during the time of grieving. So you wouldn't be able to find any place that sells clothes, but there's some stalls up that sell food or essential daily living tools, you know. But no like tailors or.
Any bums that are around wearing dark clothing?
If you want to like navigate towards the shadier parts of town, yeah, they wouldn't be around the
No,
market.
certainly. Why not?
Yeah, just go in the market and start ripping people's clothes off. They can't buy anymore, so.
No, I'd go to a shadier part of town.
All right, you walk down some alleys in your search. Yeah, you come across a man, very emaciated, wearing some. Let's find out. That is. He's wearing some dark green and grayish clothing. Not exactly black, but definitely darker than your garb.
So I would approach the emaciated man. Is he asleep? Is he kind of stumped over? What's his position?
He seems to be laying on the ground mostly, his head perched on a step that leads into some building, like the back door entrance maybe. His eyes are open, he doesn't seem to be looking at anything.
Pardon me.
Turns his head and sort of looks at you, doesn't say a word, looks tired.
Might you be the sort that's interested in chronicler giraffes?
What's in it for you?
Your clothing.
My clothes? This is all I got. How much you offering?
20 drafts.
20 drafts for these? What about... I can't walk around here naked. Do you have anything I could... Why are you even interested in this?
That is a matter for God, not for you. And, if it would please you, I'll exchange my clothes as well.
So, 20 drafts in your clothes for these? This isn't some sort of scam, right? You're not gonna beat me up? Just humiliate me? Is that your goal
You're
here?
accusing a servant of Rebus of being a scammer.
Look, okay? This is just a bit weird. Let me see the drafts, okay?
I'd flash the drafts.
Alright, sure, let's do this, okay? He starts taking off his shirt. He has it in his hand. You can see some scars over his body, not properly healed over.
Yeah, go ahead and begin to do the same.
Alright, you mind turning around real quick while I, sort of motions towards his pants.
I'll turn, but I'll be listening closely to see if it seems like he's trying to take me by surprise. Not in any particular way. I'm not sure what this man's intentions would be if that were the case, but
Yeah, no. Not too long passes, and eventually, a pair of pants and a shirt gets thrown over your shoulder. It's like, just hand it to me. Don't turn around, all right? Your clothes, real quick.
turn. So he's asking me to hand the clothes.
Yeah, you're.
I'll give him the pants.
Probably.
I mean,
That's well enough. He puts on the pants. Like, all right, you can turn around if you want. You got the drafts. I don't know why you want those, but a deal's a deal, right? Man of God.
yeah. And after I don his clothing, I would hand him the drafts. That's agreed.
All right. He happily takes your money and sort of looks it over, counts it, big old smile on his face, missing teeth. The clothes that you have, bit smelly, you know, not too well kept, some tears.
No big surprise. I appreciate your willingness to assist a servant of God. Good day to you.
Oh, wait, hold on. I have a few buds if you looking for a wardrobe.
A few what?
Some friends, you want to meet them? They've got clothes just like that, top of the line.
I kind of eye him wearily. What? Well, I have a shirt, pants, pretty much. I mean, just full outfit, full regalia. I have a full outfit on at this point, right? Like,
Yeah.
no, I think that will suffice.
You sure? Come on.
Be pleased with what you have been given. I would turn to leave.
Alright. You got your new outfit. You heading back to the alms house or anywhere else?
No, I've accomplished my goal.
And Gabriel, while he's out doing stuff, you up to any?
No, Gabriel would just be resting, not having anything to do to skulk about the night with.
Right. So Callen, maybe 3 hours of just keeping to yourself over in that place. You see a familiar face, one from the Bleeding Ram. It's your contact. Seems to be looking around.
Yeah, he'll kind of keep an eye on what he does for a moment, like give it a good see if he goes anywhere in particular once he gets here, or if it looks like he's definitely waiting for him. And then he'll give it a few minutes of the guy waiting or doing whatever before he approaches to kind of see what happens or where he goes or what he does.
And when he arrives, you see him talking to some man who showed up sometime while you were waiting. Wasn't there when you first got there. They have a nice little conversation. After a bit, they shake hands, and then your contact walks off, climbs a few stairs, and just sort of leans on over like a railing, sort of relaxed, waiting, looking around.
Yeah, he'll approach him then once it's clear that no one's coming for him.
Yeah, you make your way up there. As you approach, unless are you doing it stealthily, or you're just going to walk up to
No,
it?
yeah, he's walking up like kind of just normal.
Yeah, he notices as you
Nonchalant.
approach, he sort of turns around and leans against the rail. Glad you found it all right.
Yes, it's interesting area.
That's one way to describe it. You can smell the liquor in his breath.
So then, how were things we discussed, yes?
You're asking for info, right? What about again? Just jog my memory.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of keep his ears open, make sure there's like no one else around, but well, I'm interested in the various goings-ons of the city. What happens with the apocalyptics around here? What's going on with those sorts? The shadier side of things. Always
Right.
best to know what is dangerous in the city you're in, after all.
Hmm. There aren't too many of us here. The danger's a guard, I guess, probably. Um, we're not allowed to carry weapons during morning, I think. Or at least that's what some of them told me. And took my knife. It's a real pretty one, too. Smug looking at that guy's face. I don't know, shady? Oh, I heard some things about you. I hear
Oh.
you ran into some people? Not a good first impression?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I know these two guys, what are their names? I'm sort of like thinking. It's like, they said, a man described them, and sort of sounds like you, same look, I guess. Sort of, didn't want to pay his dues or something. Someone tried shaking you down. I don't know. They said to be, on the lookout for you.
That is most odd. Hmm.
So if I was you, I'd, probably be careful.
Yes, and what exactly did these men look like?
You know, working class, one of them's kind of burly, the other one's a young, punkish kid.
What is your station?
Station? What do you mean?
Callen kind of flashes a smile. One that looks a bit more twisted than the very good-natured one he's had up till now. What is your station amongst the apocalyptics? What are you?
You know. He seems to be laughing now, smiling nervously, maybe.
I
What does
see.
that have to do with anything? Just two
Do you know of
friends
the
talking.
owls, friend?
What about them?
Do you know their purpose?
Are you implying something here, friend?
No,
Just
no.
saying,
But what, might I ask, do you think I am, friend? A strange smile is growing a bit.
Hey, I should get going.
He
But,
stands quite calmly in front of the way out. If where I imagine it was a tucked away spot, you said?
yeah, so the only escape options from here would be to jump over a ledge and make a break for it, or to go past you and run down some stairs. Or maybe through the door that you're also blocking.
Yeah. Galen continues to smile. Do you know what happens to those who impersonate apocalyptics, friend?
Hey, look here, bud. You came to me. You made the assumption.
You see, they
I
sent
didn't
an
even-
owl. They sent an assassin. It seems. Well, there's a mouse in the field, isn't there? Oh, and I am mighty hungry. And he is going to dive forward with his blade bracelet.
Yeah, go for it.
Righty. Brawl, yes. Or actually, is there a button for... Let me see. Oh, I just do the bonus, yes, for the weapon?
What are... I don't know. What are properties of your...
Smooth running, R2... Oh yeah, there's a button for it. There we go. Let me make sure it doesn't have the extra bonus. Alright, so inventory, weapon... This should work. There we are. The smooth running didn't trigger, but it's definitely 3 successes.
One sec, gotta roll
It's
some
been a bit
dice.
since I looked over combat.
And, what part of him are you attacking here?
Let me see. It's been, like I said, it's been a bit since I went over combat. What particular modifiers are there, if anything, for given spots? Or he's mostly trying to just like fatally wound him. Essentially, he's trying to kill the guy.
You're going for a kill, so you want to go for like the neck or something.
Yeah.
Now, there's only
Neck or
penalties
kidney
if
or
he's,
some
like
such.
running away from you, or something along those lines, or his armor.
Cool.
You can pretty much just call your shot unless you're doing like a ranged attack.
Yeah. Then he's gonna go in for a low shot to the side, going for a kidney shot, essentially.
Yeah, that
think that'll,
will do it.
He will go to try and cover the guy's mouth if the guy is I imagine he'd try and scream, but he's going for something nice and quick. That'll guarantee this guy is removed.
Let's get a roll to muffle him. Let's see.
Okay. What would you like? Brawl or what did that use? What did that use? Oh yeah, I used my brawl. Good.
I'm not sure what it would be.
It could be, or would this count as a sneak attack, given the fact that I've kind of...
You
Like,
initiated.
he didn't know I
He
had a
wasn't
weapon.
expecting combat. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Okay.
You get bonuses for sneak attack.
Well, you can do like because sneak attack would fall under like a combo, right? With like stealth and that.
Yeah,
But
stealth
but
combo,
he's already attacked
bod
in,
brawl, right?
but yeah, I guess probably force. Pushing someone against an opposing force, arm wrestling, stuff like that. Holding someone. So I guess force might make sense. That
Yeah,
or
sure.
otherwise.
You can hold his
brawl.
mouth shut. Do that for me.
Okay. Yeah. Righty. Ooh, yeah.
Good enough for me. You go in for a blow, get him right between his ribs, maybe. You cover his mouth. You can see his eyes shoot open in shock. Some blood begins to go into your hand as you have it covered.
Yeah, he usually has like a rather light pair of something akin to deerskin gloves on. And the blade bracelet is actually it's not particularly ornate for a blade bracelet. It definitely looks like some sort of jewelry essentially, but it's usually quite well covered by the sleeve, and the blade kind of just pops out from overhand essentially. So it kind of is more so like a punch to the side as the thing shoots forward, right? As he clasps it, and it, the blade pops out up into his torso. That strange smile on his face, gazing deep into this man. As he, if the man doesn't go down in one, he then continues sending those into his side until the guy stops moving.
Oh yeah, it takes maybe 2 or 3 stabs. There's no resistance as a man dies in your arms.
Yeah. And he will ensure that, luckily this was fairly tucked away, so he will, he's not going to go into the open, but he's going to just make sure that no one's approaching, just listen, and then he's going to check the guy over, see if he has any particular notes or anything of the sort, any calling card, anything like that, or if he's just some random guy.
give him a look over, right?
Yeah, basically open all his pockets and everything. He's going to what's his clothing like? Yeah.
He's got some black garb on, some gray pants, nothing seems too poor. He's middle class at best. Yeah. I want you to give me a perception roll. You're able to find easily. He has some money on him, some drafts.
Yeah. Perception? Man, the fucking perception today. He's got eyes wide open, man.
You pull up on his sleeve, you're looking for hidden items or whatever, and you see that he has a tattoo running down his arm, like the upper half of his forearm. There seems to be something that you can't read, but something about the structure of the letters is familiar, similar to what you saw earlier.
Interesting. He's going to use his blade bracelet, or well, actually, let me check. Yeah, it's already bloody. So he'll use the blade bracelet to cut that portion of skin off, and kind of basically use the blade against the back of the skin to make sure it's basically like he's skinning that section like properly, so there's no meat attached or anything. Which he'll kind of dry that off, and then he's going to basically take what cloth is on the guy that isn't particularly bloody or anything like that. If there's any parts of his clothing that don't have blood on them, he'll just straight up take that. If there's any bits that have some blood on them but large portions of don't have blood, he's going to cut that up essentially and take the portions that are good.
Right.
And yeah, he's basically
to
stripping the guy
skin
down.
him, I do believe it's a crafting roll, maybe, because I know crafting's used for like harvesting artifacts and shit. So
Makes sense.
yeah.
All right, I can do that. And he's
Cannibalizing
trying to
artifacts.
he's trying to do this to make sure he doesn't damage the text or anything. So
You got one success, so it's not a botch, so you're good. You get a rough cut. It's definitely not your cleanest work. It's a little jagged, a bit awkward to put,
Yeah, he can take his time cleaning it up a bit later. And then he's going to anything that he has blood on, which I presume probably wouldn't be too much given the way he stabbed him and stuff. This would kind of more so go to the side. So like that glove he had, he would discard, and thus the other one as well. He wouldn't drop them right here, but he'd find a good spot to just get rid of it, essentially nearby as he's leaving, where there's no one around. And he'll make sure he doesn't have any blood anywhere on him, and he'll wipe the blade bracelet off on the clothing that's left on the guy, and take all of his drafts and everything, and head back to the place we're staying.
Real quick, to hide the body, give me a stealth roll. For hiding objects, I assume a dead body is an object.
Yeah, he's mostly looking to like hide his stuff first, anything that would lead back to him, like the gloves, but he'll shred those as well, just to make sure that they don't have any particular mark on them or anything. I mean, he got plain ones for a reason, so. But yeah, so he'll tuck that body away.
Oh yeah, you find a nice little spot. Should take at least the better part of a day or two for anyone to find that. And by then, maybe your tracks will be covered properly.
Oh yeah, he's dealt with this kind of thing before. He makes sure that there's nothing that particularly would tie back to him. He's not even a real person anyway, so it's not like there's a whole lot of things that really are like, oh yeah, that guy, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
If you're done murdering a dude, where do you want to go?
He'll head back to where everyone was. See what everyone else is up to. Back to I forget the name of the place we're staying.
The almshouse?
Yeah, the almshouse. See how things are there.
Alright. You can make your way back. Angus has a new set of clothing.
Oh, he is keeping an eye out for the two guys that he shook hands with. The guy he just killed shook hands with, right? So he's gonna watch for them as well.
Like, are you
On
trying
his
to
way
follow them? Oh, you're just looking
No,
at...
he's just making sure they aren't around looking for him or anything. Because the guy mentioned that someone had seen him and stuff like that. So he's just being careful, pretty much,
Gotcha.
making sure they don't spot him or track him or anything.
Alright. It's a bit later now, you make your way back. Gabriel's asleep. Angus is looking a bit different, you know. Kind of hard to put your tongue on it.
yeah, Callen, the guy who has basically a wardrobe in his backpack, is like, oh, did you change your hair? Yeah, so I imagine he's looking a bit drab compared to before. Then again, I don't. How well dressed was he in the first place? I imagine not particularly.
Anabaptists,
Yes.
they don't typically dress too fancy. I mean, there might be some markings of the cult on the clothes, but really, I mean, the only really marking that he needs is the three dots. So.
Yeah. And his big fucking sword,
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, those things, Anabaptists can look pretty much like anything. Probably wasn't. He's not very high in the cult, so probably wasn't wearing anything too fancy to begin with. But he definitely looks. The clothes definitely look worse than they did before.
Makes sense. Yeah, he'd kind of check in. So, how are things? Going well? See, you've got a new wardrobe.
Preparations for a journey.
Oh,
I did explain my intent to go to the Cloister. I figured it's best if I'm in tune with the night.
that makes sense.
And you, was your meeting fruitful?
In a way. There are some strange folk around this town. Certainly. I have a bad feeling about all of this, more so than I did before.
In what sense?
He really, really takes you in for a moment. What are your opinions on the other cults? In general, of course.
Where should I begin?
Wherever you think it most appropriate. Wherever you have the strongest feelings, I suppose.
Yeah, Medians deserve to be put on crosses. Impaled, heads cut off, whatever you prefer. Most direct methods of getting rid of heretics. Apocalyptics I would place not far behind them, for spreading the burn, being a general annoyance and nuisance. And then, beyond that, clanners, it depends on which ones you're talking about. The ones that are just trying to live, uses can be found for them, indeed. Others, I'd put them in the same category as the goatmen. The judges, their institution's failing. Yeah. Those that worship technology, they too should be put to the sword, but I suppose that is not the wishes of the order now. There's somewhat of a peace between us, and the rest I do not care for, do not worry about.
Interesting. And what if there were an oddball amongst one of these groups? Such as, I don't know, a Hymerian that was looking to convert. Do your folk do that?
I'm certain that some would. But in my opinion, the only way for Medians to convert is to be judged before God and Rebus himself. And I would be happy to send him there.
And if one of the other ones were to seek to help you, further your cause, What then?
You ask many questions for one that does not give many answers, Callen. Are you one of these oddballs that you speak of?
He smiles softly. I suppose in some ways. At least, I'm certainly not a Yemedian. I would die of boredom, as I think everyone else would.
So long as whoever it is you represent does not become a problem for me or mine, and so long as you are useful in my own investigation, I do not care who you are or where you're from, as long as you're not a Yahmedian. For now, if you're a Yahmedian, you have once been a Yahmedian this whole time, and second, lied to me about it.
Well, if I had, I would be one fool of a Hemedian, wouldn't I? And also, if I were a Hemedian, I don't think I would have brought this up. I think I would have ran screaming at you with a shield and sword in my hand.
That would have been your best choice. Why did you ask?
Because I think we could be of assistance to each other. More than we are now. If things were clear.
Well,
Although it's always up for debate, I think. You see, there's, some things that I feel particularly about. Burn is one of them. He looks at you, quite honest. Like, before he's always, like, makes himself as hard to read as possible, but he looks at you with, like, genuine emotion here. Suffice to say, I am on your side whenever the subject of burn comes into play. You can believe me on that. It is something that I wish to rid my cult of, which is, suffice to say, probably the most monumental task in this world. But that is how it is. Without it, we would have a great deal more potential. So many things could be done. Situations changed, you see. I just can't help but get off on the idea of being the one to make that change.
That narrows it down considerably as to who you're affiliated with.
I'm sure it does. It is, of course, also a great problem. Because my fellows aren't exactly keen on my ideas. But it does also give me a great deal of insight to help certain fellows, like you or the Spitalians, to aid my kinsmen, if you would, in making this change.
The only aid your kinsman will
course.
get is from my blade, but you I may be able to stomach.
Yes. Well, of course, sometimes when birds get sick, you need to cull them, don't you?
All birds are sick.
That's very true. You have no idea. Anyway, now that that is out of the way, there are some things that are important to discuss in private, then, if you are willing to play along with my little game.
I shall see where this leads.
Very good. I take it there's a room where we'd be able to talk properly in private, somewhere around. Or if not somewhere nearby, could go.
You know a couple areas outside the almshouse. The rooms here are not exactly private, you know what I mean? They're not secure for secrets.
Well then, if you would, let's find a good spot to talk.
Of course.
Oh man, so I guess we'll find a place nearby.
Yeah, you head out, you look for a nice little, you're pretty familiar with this kind of thing. Somewhere where people can't pry their eyes on you or listen in very easily. It's just gonna be you and Anders, or are you bringing old Gabe and...
I think Gabe was sleeping, and he's kind of looking to gauge the waters here first. before he kind of brings up such things to a judge.
Alright.
like this is the first step into the very hot water. He has to adjust.
Yeah, you find yourself a place to talk not too far away.
So, seeing as we are going to be helping each other, there's some things you need to know. I've been sent to take care of the burn trade here. Suffice to say, I need to make that fail. Which is particularly hard for me, seeing as they won't be happy with that. Now, you see, apparently the burn trade here is supposedly live and well. Not just that, apparently your fellows have been purchasing. I haven't confirmed anything in person yet, but I can tell you this is what I was informed of when I was sent here.
So you mean to tell me that what that sinner was saying is true? That Anabaptist clergymen in this area are participating in burn with your people?
Presumably so. Apparently there was a considerably large shipment that went unpaid, and certain fellows of the flocks are frustrated with this. Now, I don't necessarily have to reinitiate burn trade. I just need to make sure the payment goes through. Or at least show that I tried. After all, I can make do with a simple failure in this front if need be, and make up for it on a different job that doesn't include burn. But for now, I'm stuck here. I might as well help you, yes?
Yes. Yes, I would say that your goals, whatever they are, with making sure that the trade fails, I would be so happy to take care of that problem, to make it so.
Do you actually want to know the full story? It's nothing as fancy as you might think.
I would wish to know everything I could use for my report, and to know who I must put this sword through before I leave the city.
Oh, well, I meant myself. A side effect of being an apocalyptic, I think. Always self-centered. But yes. Something to do with, the spore fields in the west. One way or another, we've been making good money, apparently. But since Alter's death, things have come to a halt. Which makes me rather curious why that has anything to do with it. I wouldn't honestly think him involved, and I would not dare say amongst you that I think he is if I did. But suffice to say I don't. But, given the lockdown, that may be part of it. Perhaps someone else caught on and they're seeking to uproot it. Now, don't kill me for this, but there was a fellow posing to be an apocalyptic earlier. I was looking to get some information, see what was going on in this city. Suffice to say, the fellow was not good news. Here, he pulls out the flap of skin. Do you know what this is? What this says?
Take a look at it and see if I can read it, or make out the symbol.
Yep. Right off the bat, you know it's definitely not related to Anabaptist, but if you want to give me a legends check, see if you know anything.
I excel at these.
Nice.
Not really.
Shit.
Didn't stop me though.
Hey! The fucking rolls today, buddy.
Yeah, with that, you've seen similar writing on... You recall when you first entered Lucitor and how you were staying at the Commission, and it had a sign out front that was repurposed. You know, you recognize similar letterings, and you've also noticed some of that on other buildings around here, but never prominent, never what is on display. Usually, like in the background, like this used to be here, now there's something else. You know.
So like it's like something's been built over it essentially, or
You get the feel.
and how so just to make sure I understand placement of it. So this is something that's not from like before everything. This is like old world stuff. This is like new but old, I guess is the way I want to phrase it. Like this has been done in this time frame, this most recent time frame, but it's not from like forever ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, it's not fucking.
Not pre-war or whatever. No, not pre-catastrophe.
Not pre.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this has been done over for the city. Okay. And this was built by my kinsman.
You know, as an Anabaptist, that Altair himself and his people, after the Adriatic Wars, reclaimed this area and built it from scratch, pretty much.
So it was someone after them. Someone recent here, presumably.
Well, it might have been something that
someone from
existed.
around
It might have been
before
something
them.
that existed whenever they came to rebuild everything.
True.
That's what it sounds like. This symbol is not a symbol of my cult. Anabaptists, they do not have such things as this, but this, I have seen him on the area here, done over by what Altair built. This was on a man.
Interesting, yes. Yes, it was a tattoo. You know, now that I look at it, I could have just sketched it down. But there was an apocalyptic symbol as well, I found. A mark for a safe haven, but it had been scratched out, and one similar to this had been placed above it. I had a bad feeling about it, so I was cautious, and, well, it turned out this fellow was definitely bad news. So I took care of him. He was the sort you wouldn't want in your city anyway.
I have a wonder about this symbol. Clanners, they have their own unique symbols, yes?
I think you're right. I didn't think of that.
And
At least I know some do.
if I am correct, I believe Altair was, well, some of the family did not convert. Some of his relatives, which is why there's been a bit of a schism in the city. That mess with those two yesterday.
True.
Perhaps this symbol
Oh,
could be
and-
related to them or the local clans in the area.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, as far as any of the information I've gathered, from what I was informed of ahead of time, it sounds like the Emedians were the ones that killed Altair as revenge for the Adriatic Wars. So that means we need to keep an eye out for them. And thus, I don't think it was his kin. Not necessarily those, the ones we're meeting tomorrow, but the ones more directly around him. Given the way they're handling this, I can't help but think it's odd.
I, too, must admit I am not pleased with the procedures that have been put in place. There should be a veneration for this man, everything he meant to my faith. Instead, we are quiet, hushed, if we are trying to conceal something. He spits on the ground. It is not the Anabaptist way to be hushed and quiet. This reeks of betrayal to me.
Something is very strange here. That is for sure. Far more than I expected when I first arrived. One way or another, we need to figure out who exactly amongst the church was purchasing burn. And what exactly it is that was going on here. These markings. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think I mentioned this before, but the guard was pulled away on the day of his death from the water towers, which is definitely strange. Oh, and that fellow, the guard captain, he's Altair's adopted son, if you didn't already know. Which makes me think he has a fair bit of information. What else? Not much. Honestly, I tried to gather information earlier on. I met with this contact, hoping he was one of my fellows, but I'm not sure how well the flock is doing in this city, if there is one anymore. Which makes me think someone else has taken up root. Which is, one way or another, not a good thing, surprisingly enough. If I did have fellows, although they would be notorious sources of burn, at least I would be able to gather proper information from them. Perhaps make use of them in some spots, to figure out what's going on. Then again, if they aren't around, I'm free to help you as I please. So be happy for that.
Well, there are a few things I wish to discover, if I can. First, of course, the Cloister. I might be able to use your, kind of looks you up and down, assistance in the skullduggery to make my way into the Cloister. Second, conversations with someone at the Bleeding Ram lead me to believe that there could be something going on in regards to a personal hunter belonging to the employee of Altair, a man by the name of Fernax. Normally spends his time outside town doing what he's bidden, hunting beasts, bandits, creatures, whatever it is. But on the day of Altair's demise, Fernax was in town.
You think him involved. Or in the know, if nothing else. That might be good.
Nothing can be certain other than something is certainly going wrong in this town.
Yes, I think maybe more things than one. Regardless, we need to root out the burn here. I'd like to see about talking to the Spitalion as well. To see what exactly he thinks of the situation. See if there's anything he can do with the burn in the city. Maybe he can help me root it up. Figure out who exactly it was in charge of it. Regardless, we have a great deal of work ahead of us. So for now, perhaps some rest is best. If we can meet with those fellows tomorrow, we might be able to find some information. You were thinking of going tonight to the Cloister?
Yes, it seems appropriate to go ahead and attempt it as soon as possible. Who knows what could be going on with Altair's demise. People assuming control, things working in the shadows, may miss an opportunity. I do not intend to do so.
Fair enough. I'm not the stealthiest, but I am good at making my face different. if you will. Perhaps I could do some work on you, although it wouldn't be so easy. And if you're not a good liar, it's not exactly easy to keep up charades. I see you have managed to get yourself a new wardrobe for this purpose, though. It's a start.
I am not the most. I am not the most. Well, not sure how else to say it. I am rather loud. I'm not the type to go sneaking around in the night, but I'll do what is necessary to figure this out.
Fair enough. Alright. I suppose we should go rest up for a bit before nightfall, so we can go towards the Cloister.
Hmm.
Or do you think it would be able to get... I feel like getting out of the city will be the hardest part, won't it?
There are always ways out, even if it must be done over the top a couple of corpses.
True. I was hoping to find a couple of ways, but that damn drunkard was not exactly what I was hoping. Well, I'm sure we'll find one. I suppose we head back and rest up before it gets dark enough to head out.
Yeah, you guys make your way back to the alms house, where Gabriel is getting a power nap in, I guess. You're gonna rest up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Callen will probably get like a little bit of sleep before we head out, whatever he can manage.
Okay. Yeah. Gabriel awakens first, most likely because he got his fill already. The two of you, get some Z's in. Gonna be a long. And unless you don't want to do anything, Gabriel, you just want to wait around for him to wake up.
Yeah, because he's kind of on hold until he gets to the, because I think he was going to meet with the doctor. That's why I thought he was going to Cloister. It was already night.
Sorry, what was that last part?
When he was thinking, the way I thought it was going to be nighttime, it was going to go to the Cloister and stuff, so I thought that's why he was resting. But he's waiting on an opportunity to go see the doctor.
Yeah, I think we were going at night, right?
Yeah. You guys want
Good question.
to skulk through?
Yeah.
Yeah, so two of you get your Z's and wake up. It's, what time were we aiming for? Like, how dark out do you think you wanted to do that?
Probably not midnight because we want time. I mean, for me, I want time to be able to go back and forth and get back in.
Yeah, definitely. It was just about dusk, I think, where we were before, so probably only like a couple of hours, which would put us at like
9 or 10,
10-ish,
yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fairly dark out. Stars light up the area. You can see lights in them throughout some buildings. People still awake. For the most part, people seem to be winding down once you exit the almshouse.
Callen comes out. He's his clothes are a little bit darker than before. They're similar colors for the most part, but they're not he was wearing some red before, but now it's all grays and such. Some browns, stuff like that. Rather than anything quite so brazen. Well, are you ready?
Certainly.
Should we bring Gabriel?
Could be useful to swing his authority around, waning as it is. And I suppose, if worst comes to worst, we could use the assistance. Aye, if he wishes to go.
Good. Okay, and check. If he'll kind of like you said, the rooms are pretty so he'll kind of just poke him awake essentially if he doesn't if a bit of a tap doesn't wake him up. Gabriel, Gabriel,
Yes, yes.
we're looking to find some things out. Would you like to come with us?
Oh, find stuff up where?
Oh well, up the hill maybe.
That sounds like quite the adventure. Yes, I guess I shall accompany you. Maybe could be some help.
That sounds good. Dress dark if you have a change.
Think so. Yeah. Brown is as dark as I got right now.
Yeah, sounds fine enough.
Follow Callen wherever.
Yep, and he'll kind of head back and kind of wait for him to get back with him. Well, first things first, we need to find a way out of town. One where we can actually get back in. The people in the city are quite ineffable, if you would. I don't like the idea of bribing the way out. If we can find a good place to actually slip through, that would be preferable. What do you think?
If possible, if we can avoid coming into contact with any of the guards, that would be preferable, yes. Find a place we can slip out, but I'm not sure such a place exists.
Yeah, like you said before, such a place usually does. Every city has its little hidden ways. Just a matter of finding them. Sadly, information gathering hasn't been going well, so it'll take a bit of looking.
You seem like the type that knows their ways around the slums. Perhaps you could inquire with someone who is of such a similar temperament and could use their knowledge.
That's what I was trying to do earlier. I disguised myself, but the locals seem a bit, not too keen on it. Oddly enough, it seems like they might actually be, well, I don't know if faithful is the right word. On edge is certainly one that would fit. Which makes me think there's more going on here even than we think. But yes, I suppose we could, run through the slums on the way, see if there's anything that anyone might be able to tell us. Of course, I'm willing to bet the guard are willing to pay for anyone trying to get in and out of the city, so people are likely enough to try and turn us over as they are to actually lead us anywhere for coin.
That's quite
I
possible.
feel sorry for anyone that tries to deceive us.
Yes, I certainly do too. I suppose that works fine enough now, though. Thing is, I'm with you two. I don't have much to worry about for once. So, slums it is. Yeah, so I guess we'll scout the slums for some folk that might be able to give us some info on the way. Callen's idea is to kind of scout the walls a bit without getting spotted by guards after we go through the slums and see if there's any good openings or if there's anywhere that might lead out.
Right. So you're actively looking for someone to help you out?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna look for someone that looks like they might actually be able to give us some proper information.
What do you think? An empathy to tell who would be able to get a good look at them?
Yeah.
Tuning the other. assessing and manipulating group dynamics
Mm.
with empathy.
Yeah, I feel like there was another one that was also
Or,
remember what it was.
orienteering, maybe?
Conduct. Choosing appropriate words, knowing traditions, rituals, customs, and acting accordingly, avoiding attention, seeing and evaluating another's reaction to an action or statement.
Yeah, I mean, conduct might be,
cultural
because
stuff.
you're technically you're choosing your appropriate approach. I think it'd either be conduct or empathy.
Yeah.
Because empathy is attuning to others. So, I mean, that could be trying to
What about orienteering?
orient.
It says finding someone.
That's in the country. Orienteering is more like looking in the country navigation. Yeah, I would think either empathy or conduct. I would lean towards empathy because when I say attuning to others, I say, oh, that means you're trying to,
Yeah.
you know,
Gauge
gauge them and
properly,
get
yeah.
in with
Figure
them
out what
as you know
they,
they're
Conduct's
Yeah,
all
because
like
that's
chatting them up already. Empathy's
yeah,
like,
knowing
yeah,
what
yeah,
not
we
to
should talk.
say, like when you come up, like basically like being like, oh yeah, if I come off as this type, you know, they're just not gonna talk to me at all, etc.
mm-hmm.
You know. So yeah,
Get that empathy roll going.
empathy it is. Ba-boom. Such bizarre rules today. Me too.
Yeah, well, solid job at reading people. You, after walking around, any general direction you're heading, or are you just walking towards the cloister while looking for people?
I think you said the slums were mostly kind of upwards part of the city, so he's gonna kind of snake his way up and around through the slums on the
Are
way.
you trying to avoid the area where you have a corpse hidden, or is that where you want?
Yeah, definitely, yeah, for sure.
Definitely avoid, or definitely be...
Oh, avoid, yeah. He doesn't necessarily want to go into the area where he killed the dude, quite so close to then. So yeah, he's gonna kind of, aside from that general area though, he'll kind of snake around with the others and see what we can find.
Alright. You eventually run into a group of people who seem to be gambling of some sort. They seem to be rolling dice, but from their general appearance, they don't seem too threatening from your first instinct, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he'll kind of have the others hang back a little bit and approach quietly. Game of dice, I see.
One of them looks up like, yeah, you interested?
Possibly. What are we playing for?
What else? You can see like a little stack in the center of a draft.
Well, perhaps I can add to the pot. Although, I'm not exactly looking to play. Looking for information, if that's fine with you.
What kind
But I
of
can certainly add to
information?
your winnings.
Yeah.
Oh well. You see, given how strict everything is around here, some folk need to go out of town, get in and out a bit easier. If anyone were to know a good way in and out, I would certainly pay for the information. One, of course, that doesn't involve dealing with countless guards trying to run you through.
See, that's the problem. Usually, it's not too hard. But they seem to have this place on lockdown as of late.
Really? I could tell.
They're a lot harsher, too. That's why we're playing out here.
They won't let you play in anywhere more open.
Well, it depends on who you run into, you know? Not all the guards are terrible people, but some of them like to get a little rough. Like to lay down a hammer. Don't get it much, but... just been trying to keep low these days, you know?
Makes sense. I think we all are, given the situation. When the guard is so rowdy.
Ever since Altair's death, things have been pretty shitty around here. I mean, I love the guy. He did a lot for us, but... I don't know. Doesn't feel right.
Yeah, something's odd, isn't it? Regardless, yes. If you do know a way in and out, that would be quite helpful to me, and I certainly would be willing to add to your pot for it.
Why don't you throw some money first, and... I've got something. It may not be too helpful, but, let me get some cash, you know? It's fair. I'm not lying to you here.
Fair enough. How about this? Half of the money, half of the information. And then the other half, if it sounds right.
Fine. Works for me, I guess.
Very good. I think this is the... what would be like a reasonable amount to give them?
Depends on
Probably
how
like
much you want them to like you.
Yeah, probably like a good $5, right? It's actually a fair bit,
Alright.
depending on how things are. It's enough to buy some pretty good stuff. Let me see. Definitely buy a meal or two. Yeah, so he's gonna offer up a total of 15. So he'll give him like 7 for now. Presuming that there's going to be another 8 if the information's good.
Alright. Well, friend, you're not gonna find any hidden passages in and out. Maybe the waterway at best, like the aqueduct system, but I wouldn't bet on that. We're gonna want some people in some high places. And there's a certain item I'll tell you about once you tell a little bit more. If you get your hands on, you should have no problem getting access to anywhere in Lucidor.
And I definitely want to gauge whether he's telling the truth or not.
Okay.
Which...
That would be instinct. Wait, I actually have this one.
Would that one be empathy, I presume?
See, that's the thing. I read somewhere in a book you use perception, but I feel like empathy would be more...
For reading people. Yeah, because a lot of perception stuff notes that, like, spotting, eavesdropping, noticing sudden events in time, spotting ambushes, hearing or smelling or stalking.
It's like noticing facial features and getting a gist for people, apparently. But I like the other one.
Oh, well, expression, body language, public speaking, teaching, but also reaction, giving hand sides or reading facial expressions as well. They're all so multifaceted. Yeah.
So, empathy is seeing the truth behind emotions, right? But that's not
Yeah.
really lying.
True.
God.
Yeah, I feel like it could easily be empathy or expression.
Fine, pick your go. Let's go with that.
Cool. Alright, yeah, I'll go with expression then. Ooh, there we are.
2 triggers, 2 failures, 3 successes. Oh, okay. No, you're getting a good old feel for this guy. He seems to know a little bit of something. He doesn't seem to be, like, just bullshitting you right now.
Yeah, he'll give him the other half of the coin then.
Great. Much appreciated. So like I was saying, what you're gonna want is a ring. So, ever since Altair dropped dead, we all know who's in charge. That bastard Ennio. But, I hear people in his favor get a special ring from his family or something. And with that ring, you show it to a guard, they can't say no to you. I mean, the only people who have power over that are, like, I don't know, Abacus, probably. The higher-ups, really. It pretty much puts you, like, number 2 spot in the city. You can either steal one of those from someone who has it, or maybe talk to the guy himself. Should do you some good, getting in and out.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sorry, I don't know anyone who has a ring themselves, but I'm sure
Oh, that is
there's a
quite
couple people.
Yes, I'm sure. You've been of great help. Well, I wish you all a good game.
Hey, if you ever want to play, we meet here every other week.
Sounds good. I'll have to hop in sometime. And with that, he'll head back.
Waves you off.
Yep, yeah. He waves back and heads back to the others. Well, good news and bad news. Bad news. Doesn't seem like there's many ways out, aside from the waterways, which are already extremely locked down. Good news is I did find out a way to get out. Sadly, more bad news, it requires dealing with the guards in some aspect, and revealing what we're doing in turn, partly. The people would definitely know we're going in and out, but they wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Apparently Ennio, his fellows have a ring. The guards will let you do as you please if you have it. Let you in and out without any issue whatsoever. What do you think?
Well, perhaps those two you befriended could be useful in this case.
Exactly what I was thinking. Honestly, given the circumstance, they didn't seem to be lying, so I doubt there is actually many good ways out of the city without it. And if we are to get on their good side, or to find one of those rings around, that would then give us the ability to get in and out more easily. We could simply wait for good timing and make sure there's no one important at guard station wherever we leave from, and head on through. Now this might even get us into the water towers.
So I suppose that's gonna be no good for tonight then.
Sadly, I would say as much. We could always try, but I have a bad feeling about it. I've had a lot of bad feelings lately. What do you think?
Much as it pains me, we may have to get this ring before we're able to go ready to go. What say you, Judge? I think I muted myself by accident. Alright.
No problem.
Much as it pains me, I have to admit that we may get this ring to go where we really need to go. What say you, Judge?
I feel that's the only way out the city. Perhaps we visit Benesato house. Where the good doctor's at. Maybe we can see if the doctor may be able to get his hands on one.
Yes, that sounds good. I dare say everything seems to be leading us to Ennio. I think it means we're on the right track, if nothing else. So for now, I suppose we sleep up for the night and meet them tomorrow.
That's probably the best course of action.
Yes. Yeah, I suppose we head back for now.
You guys are making your way back?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Right, you follow your steps and you make your way back to the almshouse, but As you get closer and closer, you notice something a bit different than when you... The door seems to be wide open, partially off its hinges.
We want to take a second. We'll Ghost is AFK.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know that.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I just figured this was like a good time to take a sec.
I'll break time.
You take your pisses and whatnot.
See, I thought this whole thing was already at night. That's why I was like, oh, he's just sleeping tonight.
Yeah, I was like, dude, it's like midday, you good?
Because like we went from the bleeding ram back to the thing. He's like, yeah, I want to go to the Cloister and stuff. I'm like, oh, well, you know, I don't know visit the Cloister. I just need to kill time until the next day, so I can see if I get in and talk to the doctor. Or was it House Benesato or Benesato? Is it?
Yeah, House Despacito. It's Benesato.
Benesato. Benesato. So I was like, yeah, no, he's just resting.
It's the fucking cold weather. It makes you want to hibernate.
You know, yeah, it's real chilly out here. You're gonna be all fucked up if you want to get more sleep.
Mm.
But if your buddies or me knocked out, you're like, God, what am I doing? Why am I here?
Why did I confuse the daytime with the nighttime?
I should get checked for narcolepsy or something.
And then dude came and left.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't know what.
something that's gonna be taken care of.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
Unfortunate.
I'll be. Oh, there
Sorry, food was.
Hey, you guys still want to take your pisses or what?
Let the men pee. Let them pee.
All right,
Put a
I'll be
brief
right
pause
back.
in the recording. Sorry. Okay, it's on. All right, it's on.
We are back after a short intermission. So, as I've just said, as you return to the almshouse, the door seems to be off its hinges.
Now, the door to the entire almshouse or to our room?
To the entirety of...
Forcefully or?
on a quick inspection, it seems so.
It was very careful. They unscrewed all of it.
Yeah, well, upon seeing that, that never means anything good, so Angus is going to draw his blade.
Yeah, Callen's kind of letting the other two lead the way. It's into the back a bit.
Gabriel was just kind of swinging his hammer out. Well, should we go peek?
I would say so.
Yes.
Gabriel will start walking towards the door, trying to listen to see if there's any noise or ruckus going on.
Yeah, give me a roll, see if you hear anything.
Should all of us, or?
Are you all doing what he's doing? Putting your ear
No.
toward...
I mean, yeah, I'm just keeping an eye out from behind, making sure no one else approaches for the most part.
Great. So that's a perception roll, since it's eavesdropping at a door, pretty much.
I'm not gonna hear anything. Almost promised that.
The wind is picking up very heavy. You can hear gusts of wind going down this path.
Don't hear nothing. With that, you just keep going towards the door.
Yep. You're in front, you approach, you enter.
And I'll kind of try to quietly and stealthy as possible peek my head around the corner to see what I see.
You can do that. You don't even need to roll. You peek your head in, like, over into the building, or?
Into the doorway to see the
Yeah.
inside.
So in the inside, it seems the place is in disarray. There wasn't much furniture, but what was there seems to be either broken or tipped over. The people who are staying there with you do not appear to be there. And you're closer now. You can hear some sort of weeping, a woman coming further from the back.
Seeing that there's no action going on, he's gonna look back at his newfound friend. Looks messed up. Sounds quiet though. I think whatever was in here came and left.
Should tread carefully.
Mhm.
Could be lying in wait. I wonder what this is about.
Yes, this is odd.
That Gabriel will go ahead and walk in and hear the sobbing and try to ascertain where it's coming from.
Seems to be coming from back by where the kitchen usually is. Or you remember several workers here who had serviced you, usually stood.
Hmm.
So, the kitchen, somebody's there.
Would walk in.
Callen.
Way to the kitchen.
Yeah, Callen's keeping an eye out as they walk in, kind of tailing behind them, making sure no one follows us.
Yeah, you walk in. You can see her now. She's hunched over behind the counter. Seems to be holding her face and crying. A woman. Wearing the ascetic
I would
clothing.
approach and, little sister, why do you cry? Kind of keep my sword down but out and go over to put my hand on her shoulder.
Yeah, but as soon as you say something, right, she sort of reels back. She turns to you with shock in her eyes. She says, "Oh no, please, please, please!" Seems to be very frightened.
Peace, sister, peace. Look at my forehead. And show her the markings. Be calm, be still. Tell me, what has happened here?
She sees the mark of your faith on your skin. She sort of like, she leans forward and starts like grasping for your legs, like trying to pull you in as a hug. She says, "Oh God, thank you, thank you. They came in and they started..." She's sort of like gasping. Can't really get too many words out. Tears and stuttering.
Yeah, and Angus would put his sword fully down at this point and go over to get down to her level and give her a hug and embrace. Shh. It is fine, child. You have no more to fear from those ruffians. Tell me more about what happened, and I promise you that if I can find them, I'll make them suffer.
I don't know. They were dressed in dark clothing. They came in. They attacked a couple of men who were by the door, and I couldn't make out too much, but one of them, a sick face, sick, and ugly, wretched man, big grin, a lot of jewelry he had on him, earrings all over, one on his nose, such a sinner. I think he was in charge. He was pointing, and I don't know.
An earring for the nose.
Just a lot of jewelry, like his ears were covered, big old hoops, and then one on his nose and his ugly teeth. They shone though in the light. So must have been something with that. I remember him. He wasn't hiding his face like the others.
Have you seen his ilk anywhere else? Ones that have similar accoutrements, earrings, piercings, jewelry.
No, I can't say that I have. Why would they attack this? This is for the people. We take in those in need.
I could not speak for it, little sister, but I think that we will have to figure it out.
Is there any chance I could maybe do conduct to try and figure out what kind of groups, traditions, or anything like that might have to do with that kind of jewelry and stuff?
Would that be conduct?
Sounds like legends to me.
It's yeah, I think it either legends. I know conduct is like knowing traditions and stuff and customs like that. So if it's like something in those
I think it's more
regards,
like in a social setting, you know, like you know when to curtsy or you know who to
well,
respect.
true. Yeah. Yeah,
cults
whereas-
behave.
Legends is all about knowing cults and culture.
Yeah, true. Yeah, whichever you think. Yeah, legends then. Yeah.
Legends seems to be one of the common all.
Oh yeah, usually. Makes sense.
Two legends. Let me see. What was your question exactly?
Like if he can think of like the way she described them, if this fits any like known traditions or any given cult or any groups or anything like that, if it would like fit a specific bill basically that he can recall.
So off the top of your head, the first thing's like maybe they're scourgers, but no, that's not right. If they're scourgers, she'd probably be dead. There'd be a lot more blood around here. Maybe some rough clanners. They're definitely, I don't know. Off the top of your head, you wouldn't know specifically who would be responsible, but this doesn't seem like the actions of like the ascetics or anything. It doesn't seem their style, you know? Like not.
So yeah, so basically the description doesn't give any specific lead. It's definitely not.
These guys are some criminals. That's all you can really. It wasn't
Yeah,
like,
so it's
oh,
not a
if you're
particular-
looking for it, it's not the Jehamedans or Jehamidians, whatever.
No, yeah, that's
you know?
basically the type of stuff he was looking to gauge, is if any of those things were typical of a given cult or
Yeah.
a given
No.
clan or anything like
There
that.
are no givings in anything specific.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, they should be fine.
Quite brazen. Attacking a place like this, it's odd. What exactly were they looking for? He kind of like... Yeah.
I don't. They attacked the men in front and they gave them a look over me. Maybe they were looking for someone? I don't know.
Interesting. And you didn't hear anything else of their conversation?
I'm afraid to say I was scared and I hid in the back and he started destroying the place. He was,
Oh, you did
one of them
well.
was laughing. The man in charge, he was enjoying every second of it.
And then when they attacked?
They... Maybe... you've been here, right? Maybe you've seen them around. They don't have a place to stay, but they're welcome here.
So you don't know where they've gone?
I'm sorry, you said don't know where they've gone?
Yeah, you don't know where they've gone, he asked.
No, it was so quick, in and out.
Hmm.
They searched the rooms.
Interesting.
Give me a
Definitely
second,
looking
get
for
my phone
someone.
call.
Nope, I'll put a pause in.
Sorry about that.
Alright, back.
Right. So,
So yeah, we've got general description, but so there's no other people here anymore, really, yeah?
there's a woman, and no, it seems the other residents have fled.
Well, what do you think we should do? Honestly, I doubt we'll find much more here. She doesn't seem to have any information, and everyone else is gone.
You know, they had to be looking for us.
The only thing that makes sense. Unless there was some other oddball here, but I can't think of anyone. At least I didn't see anything particularly odd. There was that man the other day going on about the burn trade and such, in the church. There is a chance, I guess, that they were looking for him, but seemed an awfully odd coincidence aside.
I'll tell you what. From what I understand, men like that are gonna have some place to have a drink at or something.
You have a point. You think we should check out the ram?
Quite possible.
Well, I suppose it's better than sleeping in a place that's just been broken into. Better safe than sorry.
Well, it's only gonna make more questions be asked when the proper authorities show up.
Yes. And again, given the situation of the city, I'm not sure proper questions will be asked even. We'll see.
Either way,
Honest.
better to make some distance between us and this place for the time being.
Good idea. Well, let's check out the ram, see if we can find those folk. If nothing else, perhaps we'll hear him jingle as he walks down the alleys.
Yes, he must make some noise when he walks with all those earrings. As she's saying is correct.
Yes. I say, this is actually proper judge work, isn't it?
Yeah. It's good to be doing it.
I'm sure.
I guess we're going to that way.
Sounds like it.
Okay. You guys make your way back to the bleeding. There seem to be even more people in here now than there were earlier.
Bet.
Anybody fit the descriptions?
A quick look around the room. And there are a couple of shady looking people, but you don't see anyone, at least, with those earrings or anything like that.
The woman I'd spoken with before, Iola, is she in here?
You give a look around, but at least where you left her, she had like her own spot. She doesn't appear to be.
I'll go up to the bartender then. So I'd approach him and...
What are you talking
Oh. Nope, sorry. Go ahead.
It looks like you're back.
Indeed. That was Remco, right?
Yep.
I've come looking for someone who has wronged me.
Yeah, is that so? Who is it?
I know not his name, only his visage. He's a ugly man, many piercings in his face.
I mean, there's a couple of people here with piercings, but how ugly are we talking?
Crooked teeth, horrible looking eyes, ugly all around, and a great deal of piercings in his face, nose, ears. Maybe traveling with a group.
can't say that I've seen anyone like that. But, I have heard something. Had a man come in here asking the same questions.
Might that be a man with missing fingers?
Yeah. Why, did we have this conversation already?
No, I had it with someone else. Do you know anything about this man with the missing fingers? Where he might be?
Can't say that I know that, but he looked like he came from wealth, so I'd imagine somewhere pretty nice. One of those Neo-Libyan types, I guess.
Do you know if they stayed on any particular part of the city here?
I don't think we have too many Neo-Libyans, but... I don't know, being honest with you. I mean, they've got so much money they could probably buy an entire part of the town, the city.
Very well. Kind of order something light to drink and then leave after his companions said whatever business they are.
Callen would have kind of watched over this and kind of gotten a read for the area. You said there were some shady folk, yes?
Yeah, well, yeah. There's bar people, you know, sometimes it looks shit.
Yeah, he'd look for anyone that looks more underworld type than the rest, and kind of pump him for some information about this fellow, like see if anyone recognizes the description.
Sure. Give me... I was about to say negotiation, that's not right.
Seduction, probably, I guess, for gathering information.
Pumping others for info?
Yeah, let me see. I feel like that's a bit more
It's all
one-on-one,
like-
but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the closest. Yeah, that or negotiation, yeah. I guess trying to get some information.
Unless you're actually trying to seduce one of them, I'd go with negotiation.
Alrighty. There we go.
Okay, you didn't botch more than that, so it's good. 3 successes. Alright, ask some questions and you'll get some answer.
Yeah, he gives them sort of general description, you know, all the piercings supposedly ugly from the description he was given, a great deal of piercing, someone who commands a number of folk. I don't suppose you've heard of anyone of the sort? Anyone that might have reason to rough up the almshouse?
The almshouse got messed up? I haven't heard about that one.
Apparently so. Rushed in and caused a great ruckus, this fellow.
Sounds a bit familiar. Feel like I've seen him around. You're describing him, right? Usually in and out of the Cloister, see him walking around with Abacus. Must be important.
Oh, my. That is quite strange. Do you have any idea
Gaudy,
what
if
he
you
does
ask
there?
me, all those rings.
Yes, I would tend to agree. So you think he's with the Cloister?
Can't say he's one of those religious types. Looks more like scum to me. Maybe they got some sort of arrangement. I don't know. All I know is that he gets in and out no problem. Must be some renown around these parts, but no one seems to know him. I don't think he lives in the city. Maybe he's got someplace out of... That can't be right. How's he get in and out? Without going through the guards. I don't...
Hmm. That is very strange, isn't it? I'll have to look into it. Hmm. Well, thank you for your help.
Yeah, no problem. So what exactly happened? If you don't mind me asking.
No, of course not. I've heard apparently he roughed up a number of folk. Caused a lot of people to flee the almshouse, apparently.
Going around
I think
attacking
I
the
heard
homeless.
something. Yes, I think I heard something about some fingers being taken.
Is that so?
Hmm. Quite a rough fellow, it sounds like, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'll be sure to steer clear if I see him.
Hmm. Yeah. Be careful then.
Yeah, you too. Starts drinking.
Yeah, he'll head back to his fellows. Well, I have some information. Apparently, yeah, this is to Angus and Gabriel. Apparently, the fellow seems to have something to do with the Cloister.
Cloister, you say?
What was the guy's name again? The other one that he was seen with?
Abacus.
Abacus, yeah. Apparently seen around this Abacus fellow. Seemingly dealing in some sort of way. Definitely odd. Definitely not what I would expect someone from the Cloister to be dealing with. Which makes me think perhaps they were after the strange man, though, that was going on about the burn.
Gabriel, look over at Angus. What's your take on that?
Those in the high positions in this city are truly against the Anabaptist faith, I feel, with this information. I cannot...
The evidence does seem to build.
Certainly there has to be... There's something truly wrong with them. Be this deep in the burn, ordering beatings of this nature. It is one thing entirely to assault one's enemies, but it's a different thing to break into your own house of alms, to frighten a young sister like that. Makes one question the intentions.
Yes, this is certainly most strange. The information I'd gathered didn't put, well, my fellows in charge of this place by any means, so it wouldn't have been them. Which means it must be... I don't know, it almost makes me wonder if someone else isn't pulling the strings here. And whoever it is, I have a feeling that they, one, want to cover up whatever happened. Two, want to alienate this Ennio. And three, definitely want to make sure everything is neatly cleaned up before anyone leaves or enters the city proper. This is definitely bad, whatever it is.
It keeps getting worse and worse the more we find out.
Yes. I imagine the opposition may be stacked against us at this rate. Well, nothing for it. Jobs need to be done, don't they?
We
And here we are to do them.
we need to get the ring in order to gain access and gain exit from the city. But I think we should take our time to sleep here Return to the almshouse would be in poor form, even if they were looking for that sinner. We maybe being implicated as well.
I would agree. It's a good idea.
This isn't just a bar, right? People do stay here, or is it?
Yeah, it seems to be multi-layered. Drinking goes on down here.
I was gonna say, I think they might have implied at some point that you could get
Yeah,
some
it was
women
a
potentially as well,
whorehouse, it was. It still kind of is, but they're giving the whoring a break out of respect, quote unquote.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I would go ahead and approach the bar again. Remco, what would it take for a group of 3 to get a room here? For its cost.
Sorry about that, but we can't be doing that anymore. Not at least till the morning's over. But if you like our ladies, be sure to come by. Second that's done. But you and 2 girls, that'll cost you, starts doing some numbers.
No, I mean, for a room, for rent, to spend the night, sleep. Or do you not sell rooms for that?
Oh, well, I'm not gonna stop you two, you do know what goes on up there, though. Not exactly the cleanest. Never mind, you're right. Well, I guess if you're just using the room, you only need it for one night.
Aye, one night.
Right. I'll say, 15? 15 drafts? Sound good?
Done. He pays the drafts.
Right, well, here. He goes under the counter, pulls out a key. It has a little, tab telling you the room number.
Many thanks, Remco. Take the key.
Right, no problem, anytime. Fancy a drink, though?
My compatriots may. I will go to appraise the room.
Yeah. Callen follows him up to the room, actually. Rather than worrying about any drinks or anything.
No drinks for me, but he's just gonna sit there a little while longer, see who comes in and out.
Yeah, people come in and out. Anyone specifically you're looking?
Nope, just seeing the crowd.
Yeah, no one exceptionally noteworthy. Several people walk out and in, drinks, getting drinks, talking, having a good old time. A couple of arguments here and there.
Yeah, Adams, after a while, he went into the room as well.
Alright. You guys have yourselves your own room. Base of operations. On the 2nd floor. It's 2 doors down. You can still hear a lot of the commotion downstairs, but it's a bit muffled.
Well, it should do fine.
It's better for 15 drafts.
I suppose. I've certainly slept in worse.
No, I suppose it depends on what your level of comfort is with the bed. Apparently these are used for blasphemies.
Yeah, there's a strange musk about the room.
Oh yes, as I said, I've slept in worse. Far worse.
I myself will be taking the floor.
Fair enough.
seem mighty comfortable.
Well, bet all to myself. Although, to be honest, I don't favor picking up scents much. So I might follow suit, actually. Hmm. Well, this is why I have pillows. In my backpack.
So you're all calling it a night?
I have nothing to discuss at this time for it.
Right. Well, Angus and Callen, you're both able to easily find your way to sleep. Gabriel, you lay about, you toss and turn, just for some reason you can't get much rest. Don't know why. Eventually, if you try hard enough, you manage to get a few winks. When you wake up the next morning, Gabriel, you feel a bit more tired than you should.
It'll correct itself in due time.
Well, what do you think? Should we look for some more information about this ring-faced fellow? While we wait for it to be time to go meet with Ennio's fellows.
I feel as though it may be more worthwhile just to get the ring.
True. That would make everything else
And
easier.
also lay low.
Alright. Suits me. And so we wait.
You're gonna hang around your room till 12? Or whatever time it was that you met them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, alright. You guys, I don't know, play cards or something. It's very quiet for the most part. Until it gets around that time, you can hear people walking in and out.
Yeah.
And time just passes. Eventually, you recall this is the time they said they would meet up with you.
Yeah, I suppose we'd be down there waiting about that time.
Yeah, a few familiar faces are in here now. Seems like Yola's back. Drinking hard. If you're just minding your own business. Remco seems a little weirded out that you guys don't want to drink or much of anything. But he lets you stay. You did pay your dues. Eventually, familiar face walks into the scenery. It gets a little quiet, but people don't seem to be as angry as they were with his original appearance. You recognize him as Domingo, the older of the two.
Yeah. Well then, there you are.
Hey, you're pretty punctual, man. I showed up early and everything.
Oh, of course, we were hanging around anyway.
So yeah, I talked with the old man. He says he wants to talk with you. If that's fine by you.
Yes, of course, that would be actually quite good. I found out some strange things I think he might be able to enlighten me on. I don't suppose you'd mind my fellows coming with me. They're of no threat.
No.
He sort of looks at the other two.
Probably. I'm busy right now, I love you.
Now, he's not expecting them, but I guess it shouldn't be an issue.
A judge and an Anabaptist. I doubt they'll cause you any trouble.
Oh, hold on a second. And he gives Angus a better look. Yeah, well... the judge, yeah, it should be fine to go. I'm not so sure about him.
Oh, don't worry. He's from out of town. If anything, he might be on your side in all of this.
Alright, I'll trust you for now, but I'll tell you what. I'll show you to the old man, and then I'll ask about your two friends if they're fine waiting outside a bit, you know? I just need to make sure it's all good.
Of course, that's quite
Take
agreeable.
issue with the faith.
Thank you.
Kind of look at Domingo sidelong.
Hey, look, I don't take issue with the faith, but they seem to take issue with us, okay? I'm all about living and let live. No offense.
Yeah, Angus will just look at him and won't say anything further. Just kind of get up to go whenever Callen is leaving.
Yeah, Callen kind of smiles to him. Oh, don't stress yourself. Given the things we've found out, it wouldn't be odd if that were the case. As much as you may not like it, it is how it is. We have to be ready for that.
Angus just
Love
sneers,
it.
but
We should get a move on. Sorry?
oh, Angus just sneers and kind of just falls in step for now.
Alright, just follow me, okay? And Domingo begins to lead you. The three of you follow Domingo, and you approach House Benesato. Like I said, it's a lot larger than a lot of the other housings. It goes through the market. As you approach, there's a servant working outside. He seems to be washing away a cross. It's painted on a sign that's out front. Seems to be scrubbing away at it. But as you get closer, they step aside to let you through. Yeah, don't mind that, man. Just some of those Anabaptist friends of yours, you know.
Of course. Some people do get quite eager.
Yeah, I heard they're not supposed to be preaching in the streets right now, but... whatever. Not my brother. Yeah. You get up to the front door, he's like, You told him your name, right?
Yeah, he would have.
Hey,
Yeah.
Callen, okay? Just follow me, alright? You two, we'll be right back.
Of course, thank you.
Waiting.
So, Domingo leads you in and closes the door behind them. I'm gonna cut it there for now. Nice.
Yeah.
Seems a good spot,
That
actually,
works.
yeah.
Alright. I'll go ahead and stop the recording.